1959, Soviet Union. 9 hikers go up a mountain known as Dead Mountain, and none returned. Some were mysteriously crushed. A missing face. Looks of pure panic. Was it a military experiment? KGB? Paranormal? Cryptid? Something went way wrong. We're doing the Dyatlov Pass today on MKUSUAL. Have you ever heard of the Dyatlov Pass incident?
I don't remember a lot of the details, so...
We'll get into it, and then we'll get into some theories. On the night of February 1st, 1959, 9 experienced Soviet hikers set up camp in the remote Ural Mountains on a slope ominously named, or translated to, Dead Mountain in the local Mansi language. They never made it home. Rescuers discovered a scene of absolute terror. The hiker's tent was slashed open from the inside as if they had desperately tried to escape something in the middle of the night. Their barefoot and barely clothed bodies were scattered across the mountainside, some hundreds of meters apart. Several had died of hypothermia, but others suffered horrific injuries that made no sense. Skulls and ribs were crushed, but with no external wounds, as if struck by immense invisible force. One hiker, Ludmila Dubina, was found with her tongue, eyes, and part of her face missing. Some bodies had strange burns, others had traces of radiation. The Soviet Union quickly sealed the case, ruling it death by an unknown compelling force. That's a direct quote. Dear God, for the grace of God, no matter what your plans are for me, please do not let me meet death by an unknown compelling force.
Smushed you from the inside out or something.
For over 6... What freaks me out is that they all died in kind of different ways, but they were all horrific ways.
Right.
For over 6 decades, theories have ranged from secret weapons tests to paranormal forces, and no single explanation accounts for all of the bizarre evidence. You want to get into some of these theories?
Yeah.
Do you remember it now? Do you remember it better now?
I remember the... Yeah. As soon as you said tent cut open from the inside, it came back. Because that part is very bizarre.
To me, that says it was a fart.
Case closed. Next episode.
A fart so heinous that it ripped someone's face off and crushed them from the inside. An unknown compelling force. Here's theory number 1. Soviet military experiment gone wrong. All right, what backs this up? Some of the hikers' clothing contained traces of radiation. Other hikers in the area reported seeing strange orbs in the sky that night. Possibly military flares or a missile test. The area was known for secret Soviet weapons testing, and some speculate the hikers stumbled onto something classified and were eliminated. The government quickly classified the investigation for decades, fueling suspicions. Here's the problems. If the military killed them, why would you leave some alive long enough to die of hypothermia? Mm-hmm. And 2, the weapons theory doesn't fully explain why the hikers ran out of their tent barefoot in sheer terror. I mean, Soviets were up to some weird stuff. However, that to me, the orange glowing things, this is like UFO stuff.
Right, first thought.
And those are associated with orbs and with radiation. And there are examples, which we will do an episode on eventually, of human mutilation.
Yeah. Well, as soon as they said the area is known for secret military activities, and then orbs show up, like, immediately.
Well, if the military was going to kill them, they'd just shoot them all.
Unless they were testing the weapon.
Yeah, but that's true. But what weapon would make you, I guess, maybe like a gas?
A gas, or I thought like some type of harp or mind control, like voice of God, microwave type thing.
Oh, microwaves.
They like a collective hallucination situation where they gave them all I don't know.
Well, then you're going to love this next one. The second theory, the infrasound panic theory. But this is a natural kind of infrasound. What backs this up? A rare weather phenomenon called the Carmane Vortex Street can generate low-frequency sound waves, or infrasound. Infrasound has been proven to cause intense fear, nausea, and panic in humans. This could be a weapon, too, like you said.
Yeah.
The hikers may have been overcome by terror, fled into the freezing night, and then succumbed to exposure. Not entirely sure that explains the crushed person or the face.
The missing face person.
Yeah. Problems with the infrasound panic theory. It doesn't explain the severe internal injuries found on some of the bodies, and all 9 hikers, why would they react the same way and run into the cold to their deaths? I mean, it could be a semi-form of mass hysteria.
Yeah, like a nightmare version of the dancing plague, or
Right.
one of those types of situations.
Number 3, a paranormal or cryptid attack. We're probably going to spend some time on this. What backs it up? The local Mansi people believe the mountain was cursed, calling it the Mountain of Death, as said earlier. Some believe the group encountered a Yeti or unknown predator, which caused them to flee. A blurry photo from one of the cameras of the hikers shows a dark human-like figure, lurking in the trees. It could be a dude.
That's a weird dude.
It's a weird photo.
You would think if he was wearing, if they were hikers, like a military guy might have on a uniform that's all the same color. But if you're a hiker, you're probably not wearing, I don't know. It's a weird shape, too. His shoulders and neck are really big.
Well, it has that kind of cone head that Bigfoots have.
Yep. It's like maybe they saw, like obviously if there's a photo, they saw it during the daytime.
Yes.
And then if they were in their tent, they were sleeping. So like it came back when they were sleeping. And
oh, no. And here's a photo of the missing face person. Wow, we're just going all out this week.
that's,
I'm kind of liking this theory. I'm liking the Bigfoot theory.
yeah.
I'm not usually a jump to Bigfoot guy. Dear Lord.
That guy looks terrified. Did not die peacefully.
That guy did not die peacefully.
If it were hypothermia, you kind of go into like a delirious state, and it's like kind of peaceful.
That's what I thought when they were taking
Yeah.
off their clothes, because a lot of hypothermia people, they feel hot.
Right. And it maybe like it got a couple of them, so the other ones just kept running, and they did just die of hypothermia. But whatever like started the incident. Okay, so like a couple had crushed ribs or head. Those were probably the first people to go.
Right. And then the other ones.
In Bigfoot world.
Right.
Everyone else kept running. The third guy he was toying with and like tortured him, or like those are his favorite parts to eat, I guess. It's like, okay, like if you die and you have a cat in your house, they'll eat your cheeks and eyes because they're the easiest, they're the softest and most accessible tissue. So like maybe
That
if
could
you're
explain the face thing.
predatory animal, that's what you would go for first.
Some of the members have only incomplete clothing. 2 of the group were only in their underwear and pajamas and found near a Siberian pine tree near a fire pit. They were the first 2 to be found. That to me says that they couldn't go back to the campsite.
Yeah.
But they weren't out of their minds if they were trying to make a fire.
They were still trying to preserve their life with whatever they had available.
3 hikers, including Dyatlov, attempted to climb back into the tent, possibly to get sleeping bags. They had better clothes than those at the fire pit, still quite light and inadequate footwear. Their bodies were found at various distances from the campfire, so they scattered. They had either fallen to exhaustion trying to climb deep snow. The remaining 4, equipped with warm clothing and footwear, were trying to find or build a better camping place in the forest further down the slope. Their bodies were found 70 meters from the fireplace, under several meters of snow and with trauma indicating they had fallen into a hole, possibly. And those two fat bodies were only found after 2 months. Okay. I'm a Bigfoot guy on this.
How sure are we that it was opened from the inside? Because, okay, the other thing I've heard is that possibly an avalanche.
That's the 5th one, yeah.
Okay. But up to this point, the weirdness kind of begins for me on they cut their way out of the tent because there was a panic. So that kind of fits the avalanche theory, like, oh, we hear the rumbling, so we got to get out of here. That's like a very panicked behavior. Like, we got to get out of here. And you just cut that because you don't have time to like zip open the tent. And were they all sleeping in the same tent?
It sounds like yes. One theory suggests that the hikers may have been attacked by the Mansi people, who are known to be wary of outsiders.
Okay.
Some speculate that the hikers may have been trespassing on Mansi territory and were attacked. Okay, that's one. I'm not so sure. It says there's not a lot of evidence of their involvement either, like footprints.
That would be,
stuff.
yeah, that's what I was going to say. It would be easily solvable, especially with all the snow. There would be like a trail back to wherever the Mansi people live in that area.
There would be, unless they're very good at covering their tracks or something.
Or if it was snowing a lot, I guess it would cover it by the time they were found.
I'm Team Yeti.
So far, that's honestly...
I don't believe the military thing unless it was an ultrasound weapon.
And like you said, the Russians are always known for getting up to weird shit.
I wonder if there's any photographs. They took a lot of photos. So here's one. They were in the territory, because here's a photo of the Mansi people's tree markings indicating hunting conditions. That was on their camera roll.
People hunting conditions? This is the people hunting sanctuary.
Death Mountain, dude. That is what you would name a mountain that you don't want people to go to. Next theory. Covert KGB spy mission gone wrong. Some theories suggest Dyatlov group wasn't just hiking, they were on a mission to deliver classified documents to another agent. This theory suggests that they were intercepted and assassinated. Some of their injuries resemble torture, and the government's immediate suppression of the case raises suspicion. The Soviets, and I know all this stuff keeps saying that it was covered up or that the case was shut really fast, but if you were trying to suppress something, why would you say, what was the quote again? Death by unknown compelling force.
Right.
Why wouldn't you just say hypothermia?
Because it's trying to give one explanation for all their deaths. So it's weird.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah.
To do that when you know that some of them maybe just died of hypothermia.
Now, I looked at the Mansi people, and apparently they do bear hunting.
Okay.
What if there was a big bear and that caused panic? Maybe one of them was outside the tent, started getting mauled by the bear. That's Face Guy. Maybe that's the guy who was like, ah.
It's like, okay, go on.
And then everybody freaked out, ran really far away. It's like all white. They got lost. I can't believe none of these websites or sources mention bears. There must be something I don't understand about bears. So this Russian news agency, TASS.com, this gets into the KGB thing. Dyatlov Pass mystery victims could have been on KGB mission, says a researcher. This conclusion is based on recent data about the ties between KGB and Dyatlov expedition. So this researcher says, as it turns out, there were 2 KGB officers in the Dyatlov group. Quite possibly. They were carrying out a mission to provide support for a technology-induced experiment. The tourists were carrying a large batch of photo equipment, which was completely atypical of highly complex expeditions that require less of a load. The Dyatlov hikers specifically started to climb after the lunch, stowing away food and setting off light-handed. Most likely the tourists reached their intended destination and waited for the technology-induced moment, which they were apparently expected to capture with photos. But it went off in an unplanned and extraordinary way, which was possibly the cause of death for the group members. Here's the unknown data. In the researcher's opinion, the version of the groups having ties with the KGB is also supported by the fact that only 4 of the 10 rolls of film from all the cameras have remained, and it is unknown what happened to the rest. One film captures the trace of a technology-induced phenomenon, a glowing ball. Besides, each member of the Dyatlov group kept a diary, but only 3 or 4 have survived. All of these factors confirm ties to the KGB. They were not simply hikers. They had been sent to the mountain on a special mission. This has been confirmed by authorized ID held by the group's head. Okay. So let's say 1 or 2. So they're up there to document some kind of technological experiment. Mm-hmm. Really, all of these could be tied together.
It could all be true that they were KGB, they were up there on a mission, that they were doing some test.
That they're part of a military experiment.
And then Bigfoot still could have showed up and fucked everything up.
That's okay.
Or
orbs.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about the orbs.
So here's we might not even get into the official, well.
Maybe the technological event, like a week.
Summoned a portal.
Yeah. Maybe it. Okay,
This is a portal story.
Have you ever seen the movie Cabin in the Woods?
No.
Okay. It made me think, okay, it's like this organization, they're underground, and they have to sacrifice archetypes. It starts out like a classic horror movie. They think it's just like a zombie, but it's being orchestrated by this group in an underground facility, so they need like the fool, the virgin, they need archetypes of people to sacrifice to the old gods. And if they don't, then the old gods rise and take over the earth. But in this underground facility, they keep like all the horrors of the world, like a werewolf and a specter and like a glowing orb. And like, it just seemed like, it gave me that feeling like something happened. And then like, in the end, they fail. And then like all the horrors get released from the facility at the same time.
It's a Montauk.
There's like this climactic scene where there's like a ghost and a white unicorn that's like gorgeous. Yeah, every imaginable monster in horror is all like killing everyone in this facility at the same time. And there's like a little girl with a doll, and she's like, I don't know, whatever.
Well, okay, here's the official theory. In 2021, scientists using data from Pixar's Frozen. What the hell does that mean?
What the fuck?
Ran a computer simulation. Okay, I guess the Pixar had created such good snow physics because they are known for creating. They have used Pixar before to study like hair and stuff.
Okay.
So they ran a computer simulation suggesting what's called a small slab avalanche, which crushed parts of the tent, which would probably lead them to have to cut out, leading to injuries. The hikers cut their way out in a panic and froze to death before making it back. This theory aligns with some injuries. I would also say aligns with the people trying to get back in the tent and the other people trying to find. They probably, at that point, it was probably so cold it was sheer panic. Here's the problem. No clear avalanche debris. It also doesn't explain the missing tongue and eyes. And experienced hikers wouldn't camp in an avalanche-prone area. But
especially if they were KGB, you would think they have intelligence about this and like prep for it. And
even if the missing tongue and eyes was a predator, why was no one else predated on?
Yeah, this would make sense, except for, it can't work because of the missing tongue and eye. Well, unless they because they could get back. Yeah, if the people who were crushed were in the tent, if they were found dead in the tent, that would make sense.
Yeah,
they got crushed in the tent. Okay, makes sense. But that means that possibly the missing eyes and tongue, like I said, were the easiest parts. So maybe they were trying to make it a few extra days because all their food was buried and they couldn't get food.
Yeah.
And that's,
I don't think we had forensics back then to that extent.
Unfortunately, a best case scenario that they were cannibals.
But they just ate his face.
Well, it's like you wouldn't have to cook it, and like you could easily get to the tongue and eyes and cheeks, and like
this is too okay. I've pieced it together. I've solved this. I think you have too. They're all true. Okay.
They could, yes.
Dyatlov and another couple of them, the ones who the diary in the film is missing, they were working for the KGB. They were taking the tourist up there to witness an experiment, a Soviet military experiment. The Soviet military experiment, think Skinwalker Ranch, Montauk, produced orbs which whenever there's an orb, there's always a portal somewhere.
And the strange humanoid figure.
And this strange humanoid figure. So there's these orbs, which creates the cryptid, or the UFO, or the alien. It's all one phenomenon masquerading as different things. First thing that happens is people get radiation burns. They start panicking. Second thing that happens, Yeti rips off a guy's face. Okay, and now at this point, it's total panic.
Yeah.
And maybe Yeti only existed for a few seconds. He just like shot into existence and like ripped off this guy's face and was like dematerialized. Now everyone's freaking out. They don't know which direction the Yeti ran. And then aliens took one of them. And then it's just like Missing 411. The crushing, the unknown force, the one that crushed the person, that was either a space-time gravitational thing, or they were dropped from a very high place.
Or the technology that they were...
The ultrasound that was causing them to panic.
Well, I mean...
Because there is also a panic thing that goes along with the UFO stuff.
It could be like something that depressurizes the atmosphere really quick, and that would like...
Yes.
You know, I don't know. This is fucking all so fucking crazy.
I think it's all the above, man.
I think you're...
There might have been
I tend to agree that there's parts of all of them that make sense.
We need Pixar.
Pixar does the Dyatlov Pass movie.
Pixar, we need you to run an experiment on my theory.
They've all got like just big goofy eyes.
It's like the Yeti from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. But he's like ripping people's heads off.
He doesn't have sharp teeth. He's got like round teeth, but he's mean. Yeti.
All right. We solved it. We solved it. Any final thoughts?
No, we did it.
All right. We love you. Please like and subscribe.